Strap in, feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hair pulled low and blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I break, when I bang through the lane. 4D on my skin, when I lose, when I win, I'm alive in the light of the game I'm in. 4D, 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 it's different.
Well, the weekend's not quite over. We have one more thing we need to do. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gatto. Welcome to P1's broadcasting coverage of Round 8. The penultimate round, as one of my peers likes to say, of Season 9 of the longest continuously running DW12 series on iRacing today. It's a Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear, coming to you tonight from Homestead-Miami Speedway for the 6th running of the Dark Horse Miami 225. It's been a while since we were in these cars last, but the month of May is wrapping up right here, right now with the Dark Horse Series, as we are just 2 more rounds today and Indianapolis to determine the championship, and it is a close 3-way battle. There's still about 7 drivers left mathematically involved in the points battle, but there's really only 3 that we're looking at that have a shot to get this championship. Joining me as always in the booth is our driver expert, the Catalyst Andrew Wood. Good to have you back. Andrew, we are back here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, not one of your favorite places, but a place that these cars reasonably drive well at in a critical round of the championship. But it's hard to believe that this series has not been here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, or at least had it on their schedule since season, I think, 6 or 7. So it's not like they come here every year, so it's a bit of a first time in a while for a lot of these drivers and this car.
Yeah, Garrett, great to be with you again tonight. And yeah, I'm kind of shocked to hear that, actually, that these cars haven't been at Homestead in a while. This track has gone through a lot of changes in the last couple of years here on iRacing. We've had different track conditions updates. We've had different ways that the tires handle the track and everything. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see that some of these drivers that are in these DW12s here are going to have a lot to contend with tonight. And there's not going to be a lot of maneuvering around with the tools and everything like that. So I think it's going to be a very interesting race.
There are the points right there, as we talked about on the screen. It is Murph, our defending series champion, looking to go back-to-back. He can clinch today. There is a clinching scenario that he can clinch today. Matt Wagner, second. Andy Kirkenbauer is third. Those are your top three. Then Hysong, Peterson, Stouffer, Lovern, Miguel, Gallus, and Clay Kirchenbauer, your top 10. We'll continue to monitor those points as we get on into it, but let's get into tonight's starting lineup. And here you go. It is Jeremy Miguel, winner from earlier this season, and Craig Forsyth, Lovern and Stouffer, Murph and LGN, Brashear and Gallus, Wagner and Kirchenbauer. There's two of your other protagonists in the championship. And then senior Kirchenbauers, Kenny the Jet Smith, Hysong, Peterson, Jomo. We got Hysong and Zier, then Peterson and Morales, Teed and Dinsdale, and making his first start in a long time in an IndyCar that I can remember is Joseph DeCiro in row 10, getting ready to go green.
These cars are going to go on green, and we're going to see the cars fan out probably 3 wide, not in turn 1 and 2 necessarily, but by the time we get to 3 and 4, we're going to see some big moves happening. Clean start so far. Let's see how it pans out.
Field cleanly through 2. A small but manageable field here at Homestead-Miami today. 3 wide for the lead. 2 of them are 4D cars, and they split the Target Chip Ganassi livery of Gary Miguel down into turn 3, and here comes the guy you're talking about in the pre-show, his favorite racetrack, Chris Stouffer, and he leads lap 1.
It's kind of amazing to see that outside line in 3 and 4 there get a little bit of that dirty air. Maybe the tires weren't quite warmed up yet. I saw Eric Peterson touch the wall a little bit. I think the car is okay. Just a little bit of a bump there, and we trudge on here. And now everyone seems to be taking that low side in 3 and 4. We got another car that just touched the wall there at the exit of 4.
If you look at this place from above and on the track map, this looks like a 1.5 mile paperclip. Pretty easy to navigate. You think both ends of the racetrack operate the same, but you've raced here before many times. I've raced here before many times. You can say without a doubt that each end of these racetracks is almost a completely different turn.
Absolutely, Gary. And I think part of the reason for that is that it almost kind of seems like you go into a tunnel of sorts through 3 and 4. Yes, it does seem to be shaped the same, but the banking is a little bit different. And through turn 1 and 2 especially, you're just trying to ride on that progressive banking to get that extra little bit of right rear turn there, and that helps you through 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, you're just trying to get through the corner with the cleanest air possible.
Multi-lines through the corners you see these cars taking. This is a progressively banked racetrack. The higher you go into the corners, the more banked it is. So there is kind of a low third lane. That's where you see Caleb Brashear, that blue, black, and white car on the very bottom there. He's in the bottom. This is him right here. He's in the bottom lane. Oh, giving a little bit of a how's about you to Gary Lovern on the high side. Lovern in the middle lane. And then you see Indy Kirchenbauer in that gray car way up in the high lane. And there's different banking all the way around this racetrack depending on what lane you are in. Down the front stretch into 1. We are 6 laps into this thing. It is Stouffer, Miguel, Craig Forsyth, Murph, and Brashear, your top 5.
It's going to be interesting to see the difference between the IR18 and the DW12 and how the tire actually reacts to the track. I was mentioning in the pre-race about all the changes that were happening to this specific track here. You're going to see a lot of these drivers from the old DW12 days take that low line initially, and then they're going to start to migrate higher and higher on the track to get that extra little bit of turn in their car there. But you can't ride up on the high side for too long, because that's really going to start to wear out both right side tires pretty badly there. So I'm not sure if it's quite the same with how the DW12 rides nowadays, but I think it's worth watching as this thing goes on.
The Bash brothers battling for 4th and 5th right here between Murph and Caleb Brashear. And here comes Indy Kirchenbauer. He's already up 4 spots. He's the man on the move right now.
You see Kirchenbauer is definitely trying to ride that high side and then do that swoop underneath. Takes the low line through 3 and 4. Looks like is that Brashear there? I think that he gets underneath, and he got a little bit tight there on the high side. If you got to do the high side, you got to commit. That middle line through 3 and 4 is very tough to commit all the way through the corner.
Starting to get strung out now. Looks like Stouffer off to about a 0.2 of a second lead. Craig Forsyth about a second behind. Remember, these... Oh, into the wall. Miguel smacks it off a 4. A little bit of a kiss.
And just as I mentioned, through 3 and 4 last lap, looks like Indy Kirchenbauer decided to take that middle line, and he got tight on the middle part of the corner, which allowed Brashear on the low side to get next to him. And Brashear is still there, but Kirchenbauer is taking the run into 3, and I think he might clear him. He's got a little bit of dirty air from the Craig Forsyth up ahead, but I think that he's going to hold on to this position as long as he keeps on the high side.
Riding with the Prodigy, who sits 3rd in points. To his inside, you see Caleb Brashear.
Interesting that we have 3 pairs of 2 going on right now. We have the 2 cars up front side by side, 3rd and 4th side by side, and then 5th and 6th side by side. But Kirchenbauer has definitely stamped his authority there in 5th place, and now he's going to go to work up there on Craig Forsyth and Mark Murphy up in 3rd and 4th place, respectively. Oop, Brashear touched the wall a smidge there.
By far and away, your biggest mover is the Prodigy. He is up 5 spots right now, and after that, your next biggest mover is Clay, his father, the progenitor, the Prodigy and the progenitor. He is up right now 3 spots, a little bit further on back, along with Eric Peterson up 3 spots in a battle with Hugo Gallas for 12th and 13th.
Brashear comes on the inside of Kirchenbauer again. It looks like Kirchenbauer is just stuck in the dirty air and can't get to the bottom necessarily because Brashear is there. So now we got a nice 4-car battle forming here. Murphy sees these cars in his mirror. He's saying, thank you so much. I'm going to try and pull away now. Brashear does a great job on the bottom side to wrap that bottom. He probably touched the white line a little bit to get the extra turn in the car. And now he sees himself up in 5th. And look at Forsyth is struggling on the high side. Brashear's on the move.
And you're right about the high side and these tires. It seems like those that have gone to the high side seem to be the ones that are losing a little bit of the position right now as we watch Brashear on the low side under Forsyth, clears him. So Forsyth started on the front row in the outside pole position, and he is now back 3 spots as they continue the battle out for the last position inside of the top 5. Your new leader, we missed the pass for the lead, is Gary Miguel. He just passed Chris Stouffer and is now our new leader. Stouffer back to 2nd. I think Stouffer liked the idea of leading, but when you're only at 80% fuel, and that is the fuel capacity of these cars, they're not set at 100%. It's 80% fuel. You definitely get into the fuel saving and fuel economy frame of mind really quickly when you get to these races. And when you have as many wings as these cars do, even in a super speedway configuration, you are punching a big hole in the air, and you are using a lot of fuel if you're leading. And I guess the best place for Stouffer right now, as this race continues to progress, as we are no cautions here after about 17 laps, Andrew, is to really kind of get in line and kind of work on fuel mileage now.
You would think that, Gary, but you
loose.
see with these drivers 3rd through 6th, they're just swapping positions left and right. One car gets to the bottom. The bottom line still is working out quite well right now. So I think we're seeing a lot of these drivers just trying to perhaps work together in some essence and get some draft down the straightaway and make sure that the leaders don't get away. It seems to have sorted out right now. But yeah, it looks like the bottom line still seems to be working, but that's going to change as the tires continue to wear.
We're looking at a 3 or a 4 stopper. 4 stops if they can get to lap 30. So it'll be very easy. It'll be 30, 60, 90, 120, and that will take them home to the 150 lap mark. If they can do a 3-stopper, that's asking an awful lot, because a 3-stopper is more of what you do in an IR18 here with the 150 lap race. But not with 80% fuel in these particular tanks that they're running on these cars. 37 and a half, actually 37 to 38 laps would be the window for a 3-stop strategy. But I'm not sure if we're going to get there unless we have lots of caution, Andrew.
I was just noticing Shane Dinsdale has got 3 wheels entering pit road right now. I believe he might have had contact with Charles Speed last lap coming out of turn 4. Great job for Dinsdale to drive that car around there, but that was definitely an incident that could have brought out our first yellow.
Let's take a look here. And there he is, teed in the Valvoline, kind of Robbie Gordon throwback, even though Robbie never drove these particular cars. Dinsdale in the all-black wrapper, and they just hook wheels coming off of 4, and it sends Dinsdale to the inside, and he's able to nurse that car back. He will go a lap down, but there is a fast repair in this league, and there you see he's back rolling. But unfortunately, he's going to be a couple laps down now to the competition. But at least I guess he's got a pit stop out of the way, so he can go a little bit longer than everyone else. So we'll see. Maybe this race might come back to him. We do have lucky dogs, and we do have the wave around rule going on, so he can, if we get into a couple of cautions here, get back on the lead lap, albeit without the fast repair anymore. Kirchenbauer on the high side. This has championship implications as he bypasses Murph, our points leader. Murph holds on to the bottom side. He's trying to prevent himself from going to 5th. He is going to fall to 5th, and Forsyth will get the pass on him on the high side. So Murph, our points leader, who was up in 3rd at one point, now back to 5th. Kirchenbauer trying to chase down Murph in the points. He's now up to 3rd now. He's threatening to go back to 4th as Craig Forsyth in that blue Forsyth racing livery from the 90s on the low side trying to get on by him. And it looks like he's going to do it here in 3 and 4.
Yeah, like I was mentioning before, it definitely seems like these drivers are in some way working together at the bottom part of the top 5 here. It looked like Kirchenbauer and Forsyth, and Brashear for that matter, were all really going absolutely crazy to try and be ahead of one another, but it looks like it's actually helped them kind of springboard themselves up a few positions here. Murphy seems to be pulling away a little bit, but now he seems to be falling back, and Kirchenbauer found a nice little friend here in Craig Forsyth to try and work their way forward. And
car spinning off the corner, and it's one of our championship challengers, Matt Wagner.
And we have Gary Lovern upside down as well. Wagner was just kind of watching that battle with Kirchenbauer, Forsyth, and company up ahead, so I'm wondering what's happened there.
Here we see there's Lovern in the red and white car to the low side, Gary Lovern, who's had some good races, and he just slides up and side checks a little bit Wags, and he does. Lovern does a little bit of the Newgarden roll and a slide on the front stretch. But Wags, now very critical to him. He's still rolling, it looks like. He'll be able to maybe execute that fast repair. His engine is, he needs to nurse that engine. His engine is
Another
smoking.
Missing wheel.
And a missing wheel. And if he can't get the pit road and that engine retires on him, he'll have to tow.
You know, it's rather interesting to see that damage, the damage mile. The car is still going, obviously, and he's on 3 wheels, and the nose is hanging down. We saw that in the real IndyCar race today with someone losing a piece of a nose as well. So this is quite an interesting damage mile, Gary.
He does make it to pit road, so he should be able to coast to his stall. He needs to hit his marks dead on if that engine blows, because if he misses his marks, he's going to have to tow, and that's still you suffer the tow penalty, whether you are an inch off your marks or a mile off your marks. Gary Lovern already towed the pit road. And there you see fast repair executed for Matt Wagner, who has a black flag right now. Not sure how he got the black flag if he was speeding on pit road, but everybody at least completed their first stop.
So this should put, Shane Dinsdale will still be a lap down from that incident earlier, just because he had that spin and he had to go around at a slow speed. But yes, everyone's done their first pit stop now.
Last time we were here, round 4 of season 7, Eric Schaus got his second win here at Homestead-Miami over Jari Brubacher by a tenth of a second. Charles Teed finished 3rd. And then he backed up his win from season 6, round 9. He won over Charles Teed, and Jeff Heisong finished 3rd in that race. This is the 6th running of the Dark Horse Miami 225. First time they raced here back in season 2, 120 laps. In fact, the first 3 races they did here at 120 laps. Their 4th race here, 130 laps. The last time they were here, 125 laps, and we're doing 150 today, the longest ever race at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Your all-time winners here in the real IndyCar competition: Sam Horner, Scott Dixon, Dan Wheldon each have 3, with Dan Wheldon 3 in a row. From 2005 to 2007, the fastest ever 300-mile IndyCar race was held here. Dario Franchitti holds that record back in 2009 with no cautions and a speed of 201.4. Sam Hornish has the banked track record at 218.5, also set back in 2006. Back racing underway. It is Stoford, Miguel, Kirchenbauer, Forsyth, and Murph. 15 times the IndyCar Series has raced here, whether it's been karts or the Indy Racing League. We'd like to see them come back someday. Maybe they will. But we are green flag here at lap 28 as we almost cleanly got through the first quarter of this race.
The thought that popped into my head there, Gary, is yes, they may come back here, but maybe another different shape of this Homestead Speedway that you like to talk about.
I tell you what, this place has had more facelifts than a Kardashian. This used to be a little mini Indy, 4 distinct corners, a little rectangle oval like Indy at 1.5 miles. Then they got rid of those because of the high angle of attack. Those corners led into the wall. They went to this style configuration in terms of the non-banking in the corners. From about right up to from 99 to 2003, I believe, is where they had the flat oval, and then from 2003 forward is where they added banking in the corner. So this track's on its 3rd different configuration, and I don't know if you're referring to maybe coming to the Roval, Homestead A or B is what it's called in the service. That would be interesting to see. I would very much like to see him. Anyways, considering the lack of ovals on the IndyCar schedule anyways, I'd like to see them on the oval personally.
Actually, the thought that I had was that they can Atlantify this track and just make it like super speedway, kind of 1.5 mile oval on the next facelift.
If they do that, IndyCar would never come here, I don't think. I don't know.
Just a thought. It was passing through my head. But yeah, it looks like Cameron Miguel has lost his 2nd spot to Indy Kirchenbauer, who is continuing to be on the move in this race. It still is side by side, but Kirchenbauer has something within him. He was able to drag Forsyth up the field with him, and he's got the pace.
Miguel got his first win of his Dark Horse career just a couple of races ago at Gateway. He exercised having the freshest tires of all at the very end and stormed basically, I think, from 5th on back on the grid to take the lead and win that race going away. So he's looking to add to his total, but racing with him right now is Indy Kirchenbauer and the Prodigy with a couple of wins this season as well.
It's very close there off turn 4. Miguel does come down the track a little bit. Kirchenbauer is there. It doesn't seem that it has hurt the progress at all. But yeah, Kirchenbauer is working really, really hard to get by.
Kirchenbauer is 45 points behind the leader in 3rd place in the championship. He's only 4 points behind Matt Wagner for 2nd. And right now, if we were to end this race as they run, he would certainly pass Wags, who is stuck back in 15th, but on the lead lap still, exercising his fast repair. But he would be closing in on Murph just a little bit. Murph back in 5th. There you see Murph, the meat in the sandwich between Forsyth and Brashear.
Miguel and Kirchenbauer again very, very close off turn 4. This is getting a little bit testy now. I wonder if Miguel is just trying to defend maybe a car off the wall there and say, hey, if you want to come take this spot, you're going to have to probably get through an incident. Hopefully that's not the case, but Kirchenbauer definitely has a pace to do it. He just has to find the right spot to slingshot right by.
In chat, someone's asked, has the any of the iRacing IndyCar IndyCar Indy Next races done the road course layout of Homestead-Miami? I think Indy Next Road did. I can't recall what configuration. I don't think, well, the Indy Oval Series, obviously, in the old Indy Fix Series, I don't think ever did. But I'm pretty sure the Indy Open Series did run the Roval, either A or B. I can't recall when exactly before, but it's been a while.
I've done the Homestead B road course, but that was like 2019, I believe. It's been a long time since the Homestead road courses have been on the official schedule.
Now, the classic IndyCar series, they typically use, or have used in the past, one of the Homestead Roval courses for their spring training event. As we watch this battle now between the Bash brothers, this is Brashear and Murph. Oh, I think the Bash brothers is kind of the goon line of the Mighty Ducks from the Mighty Ducks movie, and I thought that they were going to side check each other there a little bit, but they kept it off one another.
Hey, we saw that in the 500 with Rosenquist and Newgarden going through turn 3. You can touch side pods like that, and everything's just fine.
Oh, Murph wanted to slide up, but he couldn't quite get the courage to close the door. Then you see Brashear with the draft of Forsyth to help pull himself forward in the momentum on the high side. And still that battle for second rages on between Miguel and Indy. This time Indy to the high side, Miguel down low. All the while, Chris Stouffer trying to pull away. I don't think he really wants to be leading, but he is leading. And he has himself about a 0.6 of a second lead, and he's about a 1/10 of a second away, Andrew, from breaking the draft envelope on these cars and being in air all by himself.
Well, you think that, but then we've seen Indy Kirchenbauer doing that slingshot effect in the previous stint there, towing Craig Forsyth along. So I don't think that Christopher is able to get out of the woods just yet. If Miguel can find a way to do some sort of co-opetition here with Indy Kirchenbauer, they could track Christopher right back down again.
We'll ride with our defending series champion, looking to go back-to-back and join the ranks of Craig Forsyth and Nick DeGroot as multi-time champions here in this series. And he is just sitting behind Forsyth in the light blue car to the low side, and Caleb Brashear in the darker blue car to the high side. And you hear a lot of lifting from Murph. He's in fifth gear, not changing gear, but a lot of lifting. I think he's back there saving some fuel, and he's just riding this thing out, keeping all the action in front of him.
Well, they're definitely losing time to that top two right now, just being side by side as often as they are. So Murph can't just sit back for too long, otherwise he's going to lose a lot of track position.
Now, how much patience does he want to use back here as we go 3 wide, or at least looking to go 3 wide? Forsyth, Stouffer's teammate, slides up the racetrack in front of Murph. Here are your weather condition updates right now. 111 on the track temp, 80 on the ambient. A little bit of a wind from the south.
Murphy's choosing that middle line through 3 and 4, which we discussed before isn't really the best efficient line to get through there. You're really going to scrub the tires a lot trying to find that middle of the banking part of the turn there, but he does take the low side, and I think he's cleared Forsyth this time around. So now he's going to work on Brashear, and perhaps let's see if they could work together to pick up some of that momentum. We see up front, looks like they closed the gap on Stouffer.
Yeah, they cut it in half. It was about 0.6. Now it is at 0.4. It was at 0.3 there for a little bit, as they are now starting to reel in Stouffer. And again, Stouffer feeling pretty confident. This is one of his favorite racetracks. So he can let the leaders come back to him if he feels like he's good to just save on a little fuel in the lead, as we watch Brashear and Murphy side by side as they go through 3 and 4. Brashear way up in the gray on the high side, looking for the grip strip up there to get a run down the front straight. Murph might get bypassed by one of them at least, as Forsyth tries to follow suit. But he is right now, there you see each one of the different lines these cars using. Murph the low line on that lower banking down there. Brashear on the higher banking on the high side. And the medium banking in the middle is where Craig Forsyth is running. Now he runs to the high side.
Got a battle for the lead generating right now.
Yep, and Indy has caught Stouffer.
That car has definitely just got some motor to it. It's very, very fast car that they've produced for Indy Kirchenbauer today. It looks like he has fought his way car by car. Oh, Brashear's in the wall. That's pretty much the end of Brashear battling there.
And he is still rolling. He's going to try to bring that car to pit road and exercise the fast repair. We will go back and take a look at that and see what happened roughly about 20 seconds ago. As he gets up into the wall, it grabs him. He bounces off and he counter steers it back into the wall as the steering caught. And there he goes. He's damaged. But we'll go back about 20 seconds more, and we will ride with him and see what happens as he's going down the backstretch. And it just, this wall, and you could talk about it firsthand. It's happened to me before as well. It's like a magnet. It just sucks your car in and grabs you. And then you got to get yourself off the wall. And he was doing all that counter steer to get him off the wall. And finally the front end caught, and it turned him right back into the wall. Here you go. Watch again. Up into the gray, now into the wall. He's on that wall trying to get himself off. And then, boom, counter steer right back into it. Almost took out Murph.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of floor damage that Brashear got from the initial wall hit that probably upset the balance of the car a little bit, and it was just set in stone there that Brashear was going to turn himself right back into the wall. Very, very unfortunate there. I had a similar incident in the votive race here a couple of weeks ago, whenever that race took place there. Going down the front straightaway, I thought I was driving straight, and next thing you know, that wall grabbed me right on the straightaway there, and it's not very easy. I think you're absolutely right about the magnetism there.
We'll give you an update. We'll go through the field here at lap 53 as we are getting ready to get to the second quarter of the race here very shortly. And pit stops might open right around lap 60. We all came to pit road roughly at lap 30. We came to lap 25 last time exactly. So, again, execute a four-stop strategy, it's 30, 60, 90, 120, and that will get you home every 30 laps. And we have been clean and green since the restart. It is Kirchenbauer, Chris Stouffer, Gary Miguel. That is your top three. Then we got Murph battling with Forsyth. The progenitor, Clay Kirchenbauer, now sixth. He's up 5 spots. The Jet Kenny Smith, he is up to 7th position, up 5 spots. And Lilac Zier battling the Jet. Lilac up top in the Janet Guthrie throwback livery. This is a battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th on the racetrack. Lilac up 6 spots to 8th. LGN very quietly having a productive race. He's in 9th position. He's down 3 spots, but just riding it out still. Not even halfway through this race, and he's in a good position. And Hugo Gallas, one of his fellow South American, Hugo Gallas, is in 10th spot. He's down 2, but continuing to ride it out in the top 10 as Lewis gets up into the wall off of 3 and 4, but keeps it the magnetism not there.
We see Indy Kirchenbauer has taken the lead now. He grabbed the lead off turn 4 off Chris Stouffer a few laps ago, and has started to pull away a little bit. So that car really is the class of the field right now. And if he's able to hold on to it through the pit stop cycle, he could really put a nice gap on Stouffer.
Kirchenbauer's 2 wins this season, earlier at Charlotte and at Texas. I would say that he likes the 1.5 miles, but this 1.5 miles has absolutely nothing in common with the Texas and Charlotte configurations that we raced on earlier this season. So it just happens to be a coincidence at 1.5 miles, but doing very well here. Indy now leading as it looks like Chris Stouffer might be a little loose there on the high side, trying to keep it off of Guillermo Miguel in this battle for second and third.
You were talking earlier in the race about how you ride that high side long enough, you're going to burn up those right side tires. So I think that Stouffer was battling too much with Kirchenbauer for that first position there on the high side. And now it's roasted his tires a little bit. So now we got Miguel coming up and getting very close, a little bit loose off the corner. That banking off turn 4 is a little bit sketchy and a little bit dangerous if you're on the low side and coming up the track a little bit.
For me personally, I remember racing here, the bottom side, the low line through 1 and 2 was pretty easy. The low line through 3 and 4, for whatever reason, not as easy, and it seemed like the car just wanted to push up the racetrack. You see him right now, and by the time you get to the exit of 4, you're like, whoa, I'm right up next to the wall, which is a feeling you don't have when you come off of 2 here.
Well, that's kind of what I was mentioning before about almost driving into a tunnel aspect as you enter turn 3. You seem like you're going downhill, and the car just kind of banks up there. And another thing I want to mention, wow, Gary Lovern had a great save there on turn 2. That was Ken Smith. I thought it was Gary Lovern, and I was going to mention that we're past lap 60 now, so now we're good to go for 2 more stops to make it home. So anyone that wants to do the 30, 60, 90 strategy is actually on the right strategy in order to make it to the end of this race. But you're right, Ken Smith is also a big climber in this field, and he's started to walk away from Clay Kirchenbauer a little bit, and he's starting to pull up now, even on these older tires. Clay and Lilac are definitely battling pretty hard right now. Everyone's going to the high side right now. They're trying to get any bit of help they can on the banking.
Clay was kind of using the banking to cut down and maybe get a bit of a run coming off the corner, but I think he started to get loose. So that's why he's kind of got it plastered up top there. Here comes Lilac to that middle to the low line, and she cuts across the nose, and Lilac now up to 7th.
It seems like it's very easy to get that 30-lap stint in there, Gary. So any time now, we could possibly see these cars coming in. I don't think they could stretch it to 75 to try and do it on just one more stop after this next round of pit stops. But we're definitely in a situation where you can easily make the 30.
Pit road. And Luis Gonzalez Nunez on pit road. Chris Stouffer on pit road. Scheduled stops.
Kirchenbauer has extended his lead quite significantly now over Guillermo Miguel of 1.5 seconds. So that Kirchenbauer car is definitely one we got to watch for the rest of this race. I think if there's no more yellows, I think he's sitting kind of pretty right now to take this.
I think the undercut is a good strategy here to take for Stouffer. Now he's in the bit of the, as T-Bell likes to say, the danger zone, because if we go caution, he's going to be caught almost 2 laps down.
Imagine that some of these drivers now are going to start thinking about when they got to pit and what sort of tire strategy and fuel strategy they want to do for the rest of this race here. So Stouffer's already blinked, and I think these other top drivers are going to start considering when they got to pit, and it should be any lap now.
Jared Curry checking in chat. Indy Next Road has not. Indy Pro 2000 and USF 2000 Series did run on Homestead. I do remember that. I actually broadcasted one of those races on behalf of NRN back in the day. And yeah, they were the PM18s. At least one of them was a PM18 race back in the day. Indy Kirchenbauer squirrely coming off the corner, but he's coming down off the banking now. You must enter pit road off the backstretch here at this configuration, and he is on now this very flat pit access road. He comes around the corner. Now he needs to get down to the speed limit at those yellow cones. You see now he's at the pit road speed limit. Pit road speed limit, the reminder, is 50 miles per hour here, and now he has a long run down pit road looking for his stall, and now he will hit his stall, hit his marks up on the jacks, and a full tank of Shell Racing fuel, a new set of Firestone Firehawk Racing tires. Also on pit road, Wags, who is still on the lead lap after that incident with Gary Lovern for our only caution of the race. The lead now goes to Mark Murphy, followed by the Jet, Kitty the Jet Smith, and Lilac Zier, your top three as they are going long. But I think Murph coming to pit road this time, the Jet coming to pit road this time, Lilac Zier coming to pit road this time, Miguel and Craig Forsyth hitting pit road this time by. We also see in the background Hugo Gallas coming to pit road as we are lap 70 of 150 as we see Miguel down and away and along the pit access road to rejoin this course.
Christopher did get that lead back from Indy Kirchenbauer on that stop, so Stouffer is going to take the lead back once everyone's done pitting here.
If you enjoy our coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. Tonight's sixth run of the Dark Horse Miami 225 and the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by, well, the sponsors of our leader. Presented to you by 4D Racewear. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Now, also they sell race awards, including custom championship rings and plaques for your own leagues. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the stream description. Pit stop cycle is over for everybody. Chris Stouffer, as you mentioned, Andrew picked up the lead. He leads by 0.4 of a second now, about 0.5 of a second over the prodigy Indy Kirchenbauer. And then Gary Miguel rejoins the race course in third position. Eric Peterson, very savvily. He is very savvy-like. I don't think you can say savvily, but savvy-like, has worked his way up to P4 on the racetrack. He is 13 laps into the stint, and he is working on some track position right now, but he is up 11 spots, Andrew, and he is now fourth on the racetrack. The former winner at Iowa from a season ago, looking to get his second win here in the series, also an admin here in the series, and he is now currently running fourth on the racetrack on a bit of a different strategy.
You know, we did notice that the undercut was very powerful. We saw Stouffer take the lead back. We saw everyone that pitted quite a few laps prior to the rest of the pack pitting getting those positions. So we see Eric Peterson got us a few spots. Jeff Hysong got a few spots. Luis Gonzalez Nunez is another one who's a big winner in that stop. And Forsyth, Murphy, and Ken Smith have dropped quite a bit here. So it'll be interesting to see what the strategies are like as the race continues to unfold here.
That is I think the move here, considering we saw Murphy, Smith, and Zier as among the last to come to pit road, and now they are back in 8th, 9th, and 10th. I would imagine the strategy now, if everyone's noticing, it's come to pit road sooner rather than later. Hugo Gallas, Charlie Teed, Caleb Brashear back on the lead lap, 3 wide off the off of turn 2 down the backstretch.
Indy Kirchenbauer is challenging for the lead again with Chris Stouffer. He's caught him and got side by side through the exit of turn 4, but had to back out of it at the last second. But it's only a matter of time before Kirchenbauer takes his lead back again.
Stouffer 11 laps into this stint. Believe it or not, we just did pit stops, and he's already 11 laps into this thing, now coming to 12. And we see Kirchenbauer 8 laps into the stint, so much fresher tires. Again, the story with these cars, now if you've ever raced these cars, there are no tools in these cars, unlike the IR18. On fixed setup races, which this is a fixed setup race, you do not have access to the tools. There is a weight jacker in these cars, there are the anti-roll bars in these cars, and if this was an open setup race, those would be available to the driver to use, including the engine mapping for that matter. The only thing you could use in a fixed setup race for this car is the brake bias, and then of course all after that, the only way you have to control this car is your left hand, your right hand, your left foot, and your right foot, and that's all you have. But fresh tires with these cars also pays huge dividends, and there you see why, is Kirchenbauer with much fresher tires, in the neighborhood of about 4 or 5 laps fresher tires all over the back end of Chris Stouffer, and looking to make a pass for the lead. But also, Andrew, I've noticed that Kirchenbauer showed a little bit of patience and just staying behind, maybe trying to make this stint go a little bit as longer as possible to get closer to that lap 90 90-plus window to try to make this that last stop short as possible to get to lap 150.
It's possible that that's the case, but also it's another strategy that Kirchenbauer is using to get Stouffer to guess. And if he's using a lot more wheel and a lot more turn into the corners, that's going to put a lot more wear on those tires. So I think it's just a matter of wearing Stouffer down. We were talking about the 30, 60, 90 strategy. If Stouffer comes in lap 90 and then does one more 30-lap stint and pits on 120, he's good to go. So as long as he stays within range there, doesn't seem like Guillermo Miguel is that much of a threat at the moment. That's definitely a possibility to change the strategy up a little bit.
Well, this used to be a 2-car battle, and now it's a 3-car battle as Miguel has caught them, and he gets real loose down on the bottom side. You see he got a little cockeyed there, little crab walking, but he keeps it off the wall and straight off the corner. Good car control for Guillermo Miguel, and he now picks up the lead as he worked the bottom side and cruised right on by, which another sign to make me think that Kirchenbauer and Stouffer are probably just doing a little bit of conserving what's left of these tires now to get to that lap 90 mark for that next to last stop, and just allow Miguel to go on by and burn his stuff up possibly.
You know, we're getting a little bit dicey off turn 4 here, Gary, but Luis Gonzalez Nunez got a little loose last lap. It looked like, ooh, that was very close, right over the front of Mark Murphy's nose. There was another driver, I believe, that got loose off turn 4. I think it was Eric Peterson last lap, lost a spot. But this group back here battling for, I think it's P4, they're all really, really on top of each other.
We're riding with Craig Forsyth, 2-time champion in this series. Look at Murph down on the low side. He got loose.
Lilac Zier is just trying to hang out there. Wow, looks like Kenneth Smith had a really big closing right there. Everyone's trying to conserve their tires for the next pit stop. We're going 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Almost like the start of the Indy 500, 3 wide coming off the corner. Each one of those cars on a different bit of banking. We've talked about it before. And LGN to the high side of Murph. Lilac Zier down low. Every driver in this group except for Zier has a win in this series.
You can see all those cars coming off the banking. They're getting a little bit fidgety as they come off the banking onto the straightaway. They get a little bit loose there. And the harder these drivers go coming off turn 2 there, the bigger risk we have.
The big twitch. Big twitch for Craig.
Finish the sentence. I don't need to say any more there, Gary.
You like it when it illustrates the point for you on the TV here on the screen. Craig Forsyth does get around LGN. Kenny Smith now is caught. And we talked about it being in this battle, but he is now attacking inside the battle as he goes down low. Lilac Zier goes high. Murph runs the middle as he's pulling this group forward. Giving you a gap information here to show you the different groups we have on this racetrack. So you have a group of 3 right now battling for the lead. That's Miguel, Kirchenbauer, Stouffer. Then you have another group of 4, Murph, Forsyth, Nunez, Zier. Actually 5, Smith in this second group. And then 2 seconds behind, you have the progenitor, Kirchenbauer, in 9th, along with Teed, Hysong, Gallus, Peterson, and Wags. And another 3 seconds, then back to Brashear. So we have about 4 or 5 distinct groups now on this racetrack, starting with our leaders. Here is your lead group. We go from above here in the P1 airship. Here's Kirchenbauer. Stouffer has fallen a little bit of a stray of this group. He's now in kind of a no man's land by himself. And then we have Murph, Forsyth, Zier, Smith, and Gonzalez. Luis Gonzalez Nunez, they have gone, he has fallen back to 8th. And then we have a bit of a gap. There you see that next gap, even though there's, seems to be, I think maybe a Clay. Yeah, there's Clay. Clay leads that next group. Then Teed, Gallus, Hysong, Peterson, and Wags in that next group. There's Teed. Here's Gallus, Hysong, Peterson, Wags. He's every one of these drivers as we go like we look at Wags here at 14th as he just crosses the start-finish line. And he's about a half lap behind as Miguel is almost perpendicular to him on the backstretch.
Looks like we're going to get ready for this next round of pit stops. We've hit lap 90, so I imagine that someone is going to roll the dice here to try and get themselves some fresher tires, just based on the fact that everyone's getting a little bit loose. Luis Gonzalez-Nunez is fishtailing it through 3 and 4 every lap, which has lost him that entire group up ahead. He's going to probably be the first one to come down pit road.
Yeah, he and Stouffer were among the first to come down pit road last time, so we'll see if they're right on cue. And again, we see the longer that you stay out, there's your weather conditions. The track temp up 120, now 125, was a 126. So the track temp is up considerably. Oh, Lewis caught the car off of 4, and you see him catching the oversteer off corner exit. So how long does he want to stay out and handle this ill-handling, very upset car? And we've seen the undercut is very powerful. He might want to think about it, but Miguel currently is your leader with Kirchenbauer. Stouffer, I thought, would be coming to pit road sooner rather than later. Joseph Morales on the pit apron coming off of pit road. He came to pit road. Haisong, I think, might have just completed a stop. Yes, he did. He is on his outlap. Caleb Brashear in the I-5G entry. He's done down and away. One more stop for him before this race is done.
Murphy's doing his best to try and bring this group of cars up to 3rd place. Chris Stouffer is well up the road now, but anything that is conceivable here to bring this whole entire group up to that 3rd place pack will get it. It looks like Murphy hasn't done a great job, because here comes Forsyth and Kenny Smith as well. Murphy lost 2 spots there, but for a while there, they were running faster than 3rd place. So this group is trying to find in their own way to work together here to get themselves up a little farther.
Leaders still staying out, lap 95 of 150. If you're just joining us, this is P1. Caution on the racetrack, and it is LGN off of 2 to the inside wall, but he might have saved it. In the wall once, caught it, still loose, catching it. And the back, now he just has angry back rear tires, and he spins to the inside, locks them up, and keeps it off the wall. And now we are under caution, and it's a very good time caution, because we're right in that window where everyone wanted to come to pit road anyways, and here they come. We watch them coming to pit road. If you're just joining us, this is P1's broadcasting coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear, coming to you from Homestead-Miami Speedway for the 6th running of the Dark Horse Miami 225. We've completed 96 of a scheduled 150 laps. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us here on P1 will be Championship Monday for open wheel doubleheader. It's our Monday night doubleheader, starting with Murph and Jacob Collins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with the iRacing IndyCar Open Series Monday night top split at Gateway, followed by Jacob Collins and Sophie Connell with the Indy Next Road Series top split at Brands Hatch at 10 p.m. Do you like open wheel racing? Good chance you do if you're watching this tonight. Then make P1 your home on Monday night, Championship Monday, or the iRacing Week 12 and Season 2 of 2026. So we'll see new series champions crowned. In the Indy Open, which I believe is your teammate, Adam Blocker is currently the leader in that, Andrew. And then we will also crown a new champion in the Indy Next Road Series later that night as well. Don't miss it. Race 1 again starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as Miguel, Kirchenbauer, Forsyth, Stouffer, and Kenny the Jet Smith will be your top 5 in this race as we are under caution here at lap 97.
Yes, everyone that came into the pit road now has 1 stop to go, and everyone pretty much kept their same positions. I think Lilac might have picked up a spot or 2. And it seems that these drivers really can't. I just find it kind of strange how we were talking about the 30-60-90 strategy, and everyone just decided to stay out as long as I possibly could. And I know that Stouffer was trying to do undercut situations and everything. I'm sure he was a lap or two away from pitting. But yeah, I would imagine that to keep your tires in the best shape possible, and you got to do the 4 stops anyway, why not just come in and do every 30 laps? But regardless, that's what Jeff Hysong did, and he got caught out with the caution, and now he's a lap down.
Hysong, Peterson, Brashear all getting the wave around. So they will join the tail end of the lead lap as we're getting ready to go green next time by. We'll go green at lap 99 with 51 to go here. And definitely 1 stop to go. And I would imagine, I agree with you. I think at this point, I would rather stop sooner rather than later versus going long, because the longer they run, and we didn't really, I should have broke it down and showed you what last lap speeds were like, but late into the run, last lap speeds, I mean, we qualified in the 2:15s or so, if I remember right. They were doing closer to 200-mile-per-hour laps there at the end of these stints. Those tires were that well spent, and the track temperature is that high. Green flag out here at lap 99. It is Miguel, Kirchenbauer, Forsyth, Stouffer, and Kenny the Jet Smith, your top 5, as we go green, hopefully for the last time for this final stint. 1 more pit stop to go.
One thing we always talk about, Gary, is when do you take that last pit stop? And if I see these drivers are doing 34, 35 laps or so on a tank, despite the tires being in bad shape. So do you try and come in and pit with maybe 115, 116 and try and get to the end, or are you too scared to do to get trapped the lap down?
Well, let me ride with my broadcast partner on Tuesday nights, also some Sunday nights for the Vote of Indy Oval Series, and ride with Luis Gonzalez Nunez. And if I'm in his, and I've had him in the booth so many times to talk about exactly what to do in this final stint, if I had to guess, he's going to split this in half, and about lap 125 or so, he will come in for his final stop.
I don't think you're wrong about that. I think 125 is exactly what I was trying to predict here. And in terms of trying to understand what the best pit strategy is, we pitted on lap 96, and now we're going to be going till about 125 or so. And someone's going to try and roll the dice here and undercut it. I would have to imagine, especially now that everyone's on the same lap and on the same part of the track. So to pick up a little bit of an undercut here is beneficial. We saw it a bunch, as long as you could hold on to the tires for the rest of the race.
There you see last lap speed. So we're there. We qualified around, again, 210, 215 here. This is a very easy track to do 200 miles per hour on in these Indy cars. And we're seeing right now kind of struggling to stay above 200. 202 for Miguel, 202 for Kirchenbauer, 201 for Forsyth. T200.
Trying to figure out Mark Murphy's strategy, our points leader here. He's dropped off again a little bit here, so I don't know if that's a tire conservation thing or just trying to let all the drivers ahead battle it out and then come and pounce later, because the top 4 definitely have pulled away quite a bit here. Kenneth Smith and Lilac are definitely battling here for P5, P6 rather. I think Kenneth Smith's going to have the best over Lilac, but Lilac does seem to be coming on strong here towards the end of the race.
So as best as I can tell, is we do have a possible clinching championship scenario tonight. And that is if Murphy clinches tonight, if he leaves Homestead with more than 57 points ahead of every remaining challenger. Remember, he was about 40-something ahead of P2 and P3, 41 and 45 respectively. So that would be a big fall for both those drivers and a big gain for him. And right now, Wagner is back in 9th. And that might eliminate him if he doesn't improve here, if we were to end this race right now. But Indy in 2nd, who's 3rd in the points, is looking to gain. So this might take the points championship to Indianapolis. But if Murph here, when this is all said and done with, Murph leads here with more than 57 points, then he will be your champion at the end of the night and go back-to-back. If not, we will go to one more race at Indianapolis here in a couple of weeks on Flag Day, June 14th. That's the next race here for the series as we wrap up Season 9 with the biggest race of them all, the Indianapolis 300. We watched the battle for the lead between Miguel and Indy Kirchenbauer, two of the young guns in this league. Miguel with 1 win this season, Indy Kirchenbauer with 2 wins this season, looking to add to their totals side by side off of 2 down the backstretch.
And it looks like Kenneth Smith has started to drop off a little bit from Mark Murphy here. So Murphy's kind of on his own little island. Lilac goes on the inside to try and take the spot. Smith touches the wall. Lilac takes a spot there. Clay Kirchenbauer is there to watch and try and see if he can get a couple spots here. Clay Kirchenbauer kind of coming on strong here at the end of the race.
But Murph needs to gain 17 points tonight on Wags and Indy. That's 17 points on Wags, 13 points on Indy. In order to clinch it tonight. So there is a plausible scenario out there. But Murph just biding time again. Still a lot of racing left to go here. Miguel is your leader. Then we got Kirchenbauer, Forsyth. Stouffer, his teammate. So 2 of the 4D cars together. Murph in 5th. Lilac Zier up 8 spots to 6. Clay Kirchenbauer, the progenitor, he's up to 7th. Kenita Jet now in 8th. And Wags with that incident earlier in the race. Whoa! He got up in the wall, lost a lot of momentum, and allowed Luis Gonzalez Nunez on by. Wags now was in 9th. He's back to 10th. LGN up to 9th.
This battle for the lead continues to develop here. A lot of swap drafting, a lot of switching of positions, maybe getting the spot, not getting the spot. But Stouffer has nothing right now. Stouffer, our early leader, who seemed to really have a lot of pace early on in the race, has now just kind of taken a back seat and watched these 2 drivers battling for the top spot. Now we still have one more pit stop to go, and like you and I both agree, we're looking at around 125 to do that final pit stop there, and I'm already seeing cars get a little bit fishtaily off turn 2 and turn 4.
Also have a viewer in chat says, I say you split it as well, and I think that's the call. So we see 39 to go. I see once that number gets to about 25 to go, you'll see everybody come to pit road. There might be a few gamblers as soon as that window opens. If they know what their fuel number is, they might come to pit road right away and maybe gamble, although they will be on extremely worn tires at the end of that stint. But the window, I would say, as we go back to about 7 laps from now, will get you to lap 120, and for sure the window will be open. Maybe someone attempts to come in very, very early.
I would say that you can come in on 116 and make it, but that's going to leave you with extremely Luis Gonzalez Nunez fishtaily tires towards the end of the race there. So if you want to do it to undercut and make sure you have the speed to pick up a few more spots, hoping that there's not another caution, that's a strategy that I would see someone like Ken Smith doing, for example. He's way back right now, but he could find himself up a couple spots if he comes in super early. But I still think that everyone's going to wait until probably around mid-120s or so to do their final stop.
You want to join the Dark Horse Racing Series? If you like what you see here, the car is free, the league is free. All you need are the tracks and the drive. Click on the link in the Discord. There's an invite link to the Discord server in the description to get started today. One more race to go after this, and then they will be planning Season 10. This is the longest running, continuously running DW12 Series on all of iRacing today. Is the Dark Horse Racing Series DW12 Series in their 9th season. And one race after this is Indianapolis. They will wrap up their season, and they'll be looking forward to season number 10. Not very many leagues get to season 10, and this is one of them, and it's pretty much the only league out there besides the Dallara Dash Series, which is an official series that doesn't award any iRacing. Well, there's no stake in it whatsoever. If you do good or bad in those races, it doesn't hurt you in iRacing. But this is the only league out there that uses this car. And they're looking forward to year number 10 or season number 10 here soon. here on P1. Kirchenbauer is your leader. Miguel is in second. Christopher a distant third. Murph now leading a group of cars with him, Forsyth and Zier for fourth, fifth, and sixth. Here as we are 33 to go. Luis Gonzalez Jr. came to pit road for what probably would have been its final stop, but I don't know if he could make it without having to do another stop. He just might have just said, I've had enough of these tires. I'm just going to throw on another set. We have unlimited tires as we see Eric Peterson coming off of pit road. So he just stopped. But again, it's going to be a bit of a fuel save for him. But I think LGN is either banking for some caution or he's going to have to stop again.
I think Craig Forsyth is going to be pitting soon. He is so loose right now. He almost whacked Mark Murphy off turn 4 last lap, and coming off turn 2, he got loose yet again. So I think Forsyth is his rear tires have had enough, but I'm pretty sure he's going to want to try and make it to 125 before pitting. But he has lost a lot of ground to Mark Murphy, who got by him after that little wiggle there. Gets a little bit of a wiggle again. So yeah, I think these rear tires are starting to go on these cars now.
How do you drive these cars without the aid of the tools to help you when they are this so bad loose off these corners? What do you do? How do you how do you adjust your line? Do you go to that high line, which you see like NASCAR drivers do all the time? They want to turn the wheel as least as possible when they go to the high line. But here in these cars, if you go to the high line, and here comes Craig Forsyth. He's coming with exactly at 30 to go. But how do you make these these tires last as long as they can when you see them that the deg is so high and so bad? Performance fall off is horrendous.
Yeah, you got to do exactly what you said. You got to try and go a little higher to not turn the wheel so much, or try and see if you could keep the line you're doing and modulate the throttle a little bit more. It's easier said than done. Just 5% less throttle in some corner will definitely protect your rear tires a little more, but the instinct is definitely to take a higher line.
And that high line is kind of a catch-22, as you mentioned. You go to that high line, and then you end up using the tires more up on the high line. So how do you want to pick your poison as Craig Forsyth is down
Absolutely.
and away?
Now, keep in mind, Craig Forsyth will be fast after his pit stop here with the fresh tires. He will likely undercut a few drivers, but how long will those tires hold on?
Oh, big run on the high side around Luis Nunez. And he clears them, but Luis Gonzalez, remember, he came in very early too, so he's attempting a bit of a massive undercut, but we think he needs to stop again. Lilac Zier coming off of pit road. Lilac Zier is going to now fall behind Craig.
Kenny Smith coming in. I believe Gary Lovern also is coming in. But, I mean, Indy Kirchenbauer is just completely found a way to drive this car on these old tires.
And the wall off it, too. Indy Kirchenbauer.
Sorry for the commentator's curse. 125 is the number. Here comes Mark Murphy. Left Stouffer on the track, left Miguel on the track, and left Kirchenbauer out there. I mean, Kirchenbauer has just been the strongest car all night. He is not phased by
Murph locks up and slides in sideways, and he has to back up. He couldn't complete the corner before hitting the wall, and he's going to lose major time on pit road. Championship implications right there in the points battle. That's going to cost him a ton of time on pit road.
Yeah, that seemed to be a little bit of a weird one, Gary. He looked like he was going to stop right before the cones there to reach the pit speed limit. Usually, you see that in terms of the pit entry there, so as not to speed. But yeah, I mean, it must be a rear tire thing. I'm sure it's all probably part of the same symptom.
So Craig Forsyth is the lead car of those that have just pitted or on the early pit cycle here. So he is now up to fifth. He is one lap down, so we're still awaiting Indy Kirchenbauer, who is third in the points, first on the racetrack, 2 wins this season. He is our current leader. Gary Miguel with a win this season at Gateway. We await him to come to pit road. Chris Stouffer with a win this season. We are awaiting him to come to pit road. Stouffer with the win in our last racetrack that we were just at in Pocono. Of course, this is the Pocono Whisperers. We watch them get loose off of 4. So I would imagine Stouffer coming to pit road anytime. Matt Wagner trying to get the monkey off his back and get a league championship to his name. He's done everything in these cars, or in IndyCar, in the community, but really kind of get a big-time championship to his name. He's now just got passed by Craig Forsyth, but that's not for position. That is just for track position, as Craig Forsyth is a lap down. But Wags, very much in the points battle coming into this race, had an incident off of 4 at about lap 25 that caused him to come to pit road to exercise the fast repair. He's now back on the same strategy and pit cadence as everybody else, but he is staying out long, and we've seen, as we talked about a number of times, Andrew, the longer in this race that you stay out on these stints, the more you are penalized because of the tire fall off. And Wags is going long. He's the 4th car in line of going long, but right now Craig Forsyth is leading that second group right now as he just crossed the start-finish line.
You know, I don't understand. At this point, we're at 1:30. It's time to pit. Now you're just hemorrhaging time on old tires. Just get in, get the new tires, and go. Christopher is on pit road. I believe Indy is coming, and Garen Miguel. Oh, I think did Kirchenbauer go up on the grass there? I think he might have overshot it a little bit, but no harm, no foul. Just gets a little bit of an off track. But that's going to lose him a little bit of time. Miguel stays on the track, but there's no need to stay on the track at this point. You got 19 laps left. You got to pit again. Why are you out there on the old tires?
Miguel and Wags staying out long. Miguel staying out as he bypasses the entry into pit road off of turn 3. Same thing for Wags. Kirchenbauer down and away. The Prodigy looking to get his 3rd win of the season and gaining the points championship going into the final race in Indianapolis. He's down it, but he gets passed by Craig Forsyth. But remember, Craig Forsyth now with this undercut, he is 10 laps into the stint, so he has considerably older tires. Here's your last, the weather conditions to end the race at here. The track tip has come down, so this is actually, remember, we was up to about 125, 126 degrees earlier in the race, but the track conditions have now come down into the favor of Craig Forsyth if he wants to go long on this last stint at 108 degrees. This might just fall into Forsyth's lap.
We almost just had a caution about a lap ago, Gary. As you were talking, Wagner and Luis Gonzalez-Nunez had contact. There's 3 wide through 1 and 2 there. And they just touched wheels, but if that was a little bit forward or back, that could have been a bigger incident. They were 3 wide.
We'll watch that again as we get the weather conditions off the screen, and Wags with the much older tires for LGN with much better tires. Same thing with Kenny the Jet Smith, and they just go in through there, and Our Lady of Savior on netcode definitely answered prayers there.
Miguel's down pit road now, finally. I think he was just trying to hope for a caution that would trap everyone a lap down, but the more that these drivers are out there on fresher tires, he's just going to be hemorrhaging time, and everyone's going to get their lap back. Luis Gonzalez-Nunez in the wall again off turn 2 just now.
And he's coming to pit road. We think he had to come to pit road anyways before the end of this race. And he has a meatball flag, and he goes out onto the grass. He goes back up onto the racetrack. He's trying to bring it to pit road. He does get the pit road, but he is going to punch out, unfortunately. Day is done for LGN. And that almost got the caution that Wags was looking for, as he is now the only car now who has not stopped. He is 40 laps into the stint, and you see him, he's turning lap times of 2:07. Oh, actually, that's his fastest lap. Excuse me. Here's your last lap speed. Oh, he is well down. 196, 197. Well, Forsyth is doing lap speeds of 2:02. Kirchenbauer and both the Kirchenbauer, the Prodigy and the Progenitor, they are much fresher tires, and they're up in the 206s and 205s.
Yeah, we see Indy Kirchenbauer in particular is coming on these these newer tires. Craig Forsyth is his next target once he dispatches Lilac. Lilac is now behind Indy, and Craig Forsyth is just praying this undercut will work. 12 more laps to go, though, is very, very tough to hang on to. But overall net game for Forsythe, I believe. I think Stouffer is going to have a hard time closing down, but if we do have this big delta in the lap times between the old tires and the new tires, it is fully possible that Stouffer could catch Forsythe. But overall, what a great undercut move there by Forsythe.
12 to go. Kirchenbauer to the inside for the race, for the net race lead, because we know Wags is going to have to come to pit road. He goes down low and he clears Stouffer's teammate Craig Forsythe, and he is going to be your net leader. But Lilac Zier now might have a shot at this, as Lilac is much fresher tires. Actually, not much fresher tires, only by a lap over Craig. Can she use the draft there to pull alongside, get down low? Craig getting the dirty air from Indy. And I see what Miguel's trying to do. Miguel, with that late stop, he's going to have among the freshest tires. Wagner on pit road right now, so he's going to have the freshest tires. He'll be able to push every single lap in these final 10 laps. But unfortunately, he's going to be at the tail end. I think he's going to go a lap down here, I think. Or he's going to be at the tail end of it. But Miguel, unfortunately, we're a little too strung out. But if we were closer together, he's trying to duplicate what he did at Gateway with fresher tires and do a run from back in the pack to the lead. But we're going to run out of time here with only 9 laps to go. But your new leader is Indy Kirchenbauer with Proud Papa now in second.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked at where Clay Kirchenbauer came from. He was running behind Lilac and Kenny Smith before, and now he's found himself sitting in second place. And wow, that undercut must have worked. And I think Clay has found a way to keep those tires going. So what a great last segment of the race here for Papa Kirchenbauer.
And it would not be unprecedented to have a Miami race go down to the end between father and son. It's happened before in real IndyCar racing between Al Unser Sr. and Al Unser Jr. Remember, Al Unser Sr. won the kart championship, the national title, by a single point in the mid-'80s over his son. And the final race of the season was at Miami. The predecessor to this racetrack was at Tamiami Park. It was a road course in downtown Miami, or just on the outskirts of Miami. But we might see another father-son battle here down in the Sunshine State with 6 to go. But right now, Indy continues to pull away, with Papa being a rear gunner, 1.7 seconds behind Craig Forsythe. Unfortunately, with the oldest tires now out of this group, not by much, just by a little bit. But that just shows you the fall-off, as he is now in third, trying to hold on to that bottom step. And he's going to have a very fast teammate, Chris Stouffer, right behind him, who will probably try to challenge him here in the late stages. 5 to go. Indy Kirchenbauer looking for win number 3 this season and a gain in the points battle, as our points leader, Mark Murphy, is down in 10th. That final pit stop sliding across the pit road speed limits area, that marker there, Andrew, is really cost Murph, and he is hanging on to a top 10 finish, so ensuring that we will probably see this entire championship go one more week or one more race to Indianapolis for the final race of the season.
This is exactly what the fans want, Gary. We want to see a race go down to the end. Craig Forsythe is desperately hanging on to those tires now. Clay has definitely pulled out a gap there. Here comes Stouffer. Stouffer is ready to pounce on those newer tires, and he's going to set sail to try and get that second spot back.
And there you see Indy turning laps of 2:04 flat. Clay turning laps in the low 200s. So Indy pulling away. Now can Papa hold on to second? Here comes Chris Stouffer, who last time by was 2 miles per hour faster than the progenitor.
I think Stouffer is going to have a real shot here. Clay is definitely getting squirrely off these corners here, so Chris Stouffer is coming forward, and if he is as fast as you say he is going to clear him easily through turn 3 and 4.
Coming off of 3 and 4, looking for the white flag this time by the Prodigy. White flag is out. And Stouffer passes the progenitor, Papa. Papa wants it back. He goes to the inside at the line.
Guillermo Miguel is coming up fast through the field as well, just past Lilac Zier in turn 1 and 2. And, oh, there goes Clay. He's lost it off turn 2.
Oh, and he's going to lose he's going to lose everything that he had to hope to get that bottom step. But here comes Sun. He comes to the line, win number 3, and gains in the point championship to live to see another round. Christopher in second, and Guillermo Miguel comes all the way from 6th. He was far back as 7th, I believe, and finishes on the bottom step with the freshest tires in this last stint.
Yeah, it seems that Miguel just was able to kind of drive directly through that Kirchenbauer coming back on the track again, Clay Kirchenbauer, that is. I think that Forsyth got a little bit loose and Lilac had to lift a bit, but Miguel just had such a run down that back straightaway that he passed 3 cars in one straightaway. Actually, Gary, I believe there was contact with Stouffer and Kirchenbauer. Wasn't Kirchenbauer getting loose? I think that Stouffer actually gave Clay Kirchenbauer a bit of a touch from behind, and that with the way that those tires are, any sort of contact is just going to get you spinning sideways.
And there you see Indy with his 3rd win this season. We will get a points update here momentarily. Chris Stouffer in 2nd, Guillermo Miguel in 3rd, Craig Forsyth in 4th, Lilac Zier in 5th. Then we got the Papa Kirchenbauer in 6th, the progenitor. With that, fortunately, he was 3rd, I think, when we were getting ready to take the white flag. And he falls to 6th. Kenny the Jet Smith with a good finish on his part comes home in 7th. Hugo Gallas, a very quiet top 10 performance for him. In 8th, Mark Murphy, not the finish he was looking for, in 9th. And Caleb Brashear, the other half of the Bass brothers, in 10th. Then we got Jeff Hyson, Matt Wagner, Eric Peterson, Joseph Morales, Shane Dinsdale, Lover, Nunez, Teed, and DeCiro. Now, Wags, by virtue of finishing so close as he did to Murph in the final standings, I think this keeps Wags' chances at Indianapolis within. I think he has a chance. It's a long shot at best, but he has a chance.
We've seen weird things in season finales, Gary. I'm pretty sure I've called a couple races with you that seemed completely out of range, and next thing you know, you have an actual shot at these certain implications and clinching scenarios that never come to be.
And then you see Craig Forsyth with the purple lap tonight at 2:08, set earlier in the race. All right. And just need to get some replays queued up here. And I don't know if we will get a chance to talk to Guillermo Miguel. There might be a language barrier there. If he's available, I would very much like to talk to him, because that strategy almost paid off again for him. He also started from the pole tonight.
I still cannot. I completely missed the fact that Clay Kirchenbauer was undercutting enough to get up to second place there after running in P7 or 8 or so, and that's very unfortunate for Clay. The undercut managed to work in some aspect, but then it all went up in smoke, unfortunately, with one lap to go there.
All right, and we will take a look here, see who we got available for interviews, and then we will see if there is a points update at all. I do not see Guillermo Miguel at all in any of the windows or any of the channels for voice. But I do at least want to talk about his day. Remember, he started from the pole. He was the lowest at 11th at one point, and then had that big run there at the end on the, I think he had the freshest tires, period. Matt Wagner actually had tires that were less than 10 laps old, but this was the next freshest batch of tires right here for this guy, trying to repeat what he did at Gateway. We will show you that he did lead a good chunk of this race, 51 laps of a 150-lap race. So a good race for Miguel, finishing on the podium. So looking to finish this season strong with a win and another podium before getting to Indianapolis. And a lot of momentum going into Season 10 when Season 10 gets here later, either this year or next year. All right. Chris Stouffer led 50 laps today, but here's his line. He was as low as 11th at one point, and we will bring in Chris Stouffer.
We got to get this right, Gary.
I know. It's
you and me both.
Yeah. Yep. And all I'm drinking here is Coca-Cola. It's just caffeine in me. Can't get it out right. Here's Chris Stouffer, and we'll bring him in here. We kind of gave you, this is one of your favorite racetracks, Chris. We said we know you're the Pocono Whisperer and the Michigan Whisperer, but a bit of a Homestead Whisperer. And very early on in this race, it looked like it was a good day for you. But as conditions and tires degraded, people that went forward went back. People went back, went forward. Undercuts executed. People stayed out longer, didn't realize the undercut was as powerful. Then I think people learned mid-race that the undercut was pretty powerful. So just everybody was kind of all over the place strategy-wise. Talk about your race. What was your intent going in, and then what did your strategy change mid-race, as most everyone's strategies did change?
Yeah, well, the intent going into the race was get up front early, and I did that. And everything was going well, but with the conditions on the track, the car got loose there with about 10 laps to go on fuel, maybe a little bit more. And I think what I learned later on in the race was having a couple cars in front of you that you could just go a little bit slower on the turn, save a little bit of tires, and keep up with them mattered. I think came down to the very last pit stop there, and I just I think I stayed out maybe 2-3 laps too long. Had I pitted 2-3 laps before I did, I think I would have been up there with Indy, because he came out right in front of me, but he had fresh tires, was able to get through the traffic. And if I would have pit just a few laps before, I would have came out right with that traffic, or maybe a little bit in front, and been able to just pull away. But at the same time, it was a good race. He ran a hell of a race. I'm sorry what happened with me and Clay there. He kind of slid up in front of me, and it was just not a lot of time to react last lap and all that. So just hammer down and trying to get as much as you could. So it's a good race overall.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Chris, I not like you were passing a lot of cars out there, just not being in the mid-pack part of it all, but did you find that it was easier to be on the inside or the outside when it came to trying to make the move? I know you and Indy battled for quite a bit. Sometimes you're on the bottom, sometimes you're on the top. Was there any preferred line, especially entering 3 and 4, to try and slide up and get the move done, or was it just a matter of the cleanest air possible?
Well, clean air is always what you want on your nose. So that's the nice part about this track. You can run high, low, mid, and find some clean air, help you get around the turn. What I found was the most successful at, getting by anybody was if you could run high in 1 and 2 and get that momentum going down the back stretch, and then do the slide job in 3 and 4. Because you all had to slow down about the same amount, regardless of whether you're high or low on the track. Where 1 and 2's just got a little bit more, just a little wider, as you know. It's not as tight as 3 and 4. So that's what I found worked for me.
All right. The points have been updated. I don't know if you've seen that quite yet, but by virtue of Mark not having a great finish, you having a good finish, you kind of worked your way into contention into the final race. But I have your soundtrack song that you can listen to leading up to the Indy 300 here in a couple weeks for your shot to win the championship. Mike and the Mechanics, all I need is a miracle, because that is exactly what you need. You are 57 points out, and in order to win, you will need to basically everybody in front of you needs to have a big failure one way or another, and you will need to get every bonus point imaginable in order to pull off the championship. But I'm still telling you there's a chance that you're still in the points battle. You are 57 points behind now in fourth. So at one point in this race, it was kind of down into the top 7 now in the points, and we really thought coming out of this race it would be the top 3 that would be going to Indianapolis with a chance on the points championship. But you will be the 4th contestant, and all you need is a miracle. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. You still got a shot at this thing.
Well, mathematically, there's a shot, but as we all know, it's a tough field. I don't know that we're going to go out there with the same mindset everybody else. Just run hard, try to maximize the points. Having to sweep all the bonus points, that's a tall task as well. But we'll see how it plays out. I guess mathematically speaking, there's a chance, but I don't think I don't think it's going to happen realistically. So we'll see how it all falls out. But anyways, shout out to 4D Racewear. Check out 4dracewear.com. You guys up in the booth for broadcasting. Everybody putting on the league. Indy for the win today. Miguel coming in third there, and then me and Clay battling hard at the end. Sorry how it ended there, but it was a good race. Everybody throughout the field.
Congratulations on the P3. Congratulations still staying in contention for at least one more race. It's Mike and the Mechanics. All I need is a miracle. And Christopher with the P3 here today led 50 of 150 laps. Chris, we'll see you in a couple weeks when we get to Indianapolis.
Thank you.
And we will just drag him down into the general channel there. We will now bring up, actually, Christopher. Sorry, I said he finished third. He finished second tonight. Again, Miguel finished third. And we will reset the graphics here real quick and bring in our winner for his third win this season, Indy Kirchenbauer. Hold on. Now, there he is. Indy Kirchenbauer joining us in the booth for his third win of the season. Congratulations. And it had to be there for a minute. It was looking pretty good. Almost another Al Jr., Al Sr. Miami moment from the mid-'80s. Father and son on the top 2 steps of the podium. Unfortunately, that's just not how it finished. But you do get your third win of the season at a very critical time. With only now one more race to go after this. You gain a little bit on Murph. Not a lot. You're still in contention for the final race. You got to ask yourself, though, with 3 wins this season, and now you're fighting, you're in second in the points, and at one point you were very close to third. You got to be asking yourself, man, if things were a little bit different, it should be a lot closer. If not, you're the leader, but still, you got the win today. You got to feel good about that.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. Just missing 2 races definitely wasn't helping me. I don't know if on the points seat the drop weeks have come in yet. But I know mine will be a dead 0. So I kind of last minute decided to do it. And it was a pretty fun race throughout. Be able to break away from the pack there, make a lot of passes at the start from starting P11, and it was a pretty good race. So it was, I had fun. Able to just being with the lead pack, battling side by side for most of it. It was it was fun.
Indy, there's been a little bit of a discussion going on about how the setup was, and I'm curious to know how you manage those rear tires. Gary and I were trying to really figure out how to manage those rears, especially towards the end of the stint where it seemed like everyone else was getting a little bit slidey. You had a couple of sliding moments yourself. what was the key to keeping the rear tires under you for the rest, the latter part of the stint there?
Yeah, I'm used to dirt tracking it. Oval's not my highest rating, so I was able to just. It felt comfortable to me. I mean, it certainly. It kind of just was like going into the corner, tight, 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 and then it would just death snap off the corner. So what I found out is that if you just use less wheel in the center of the corner, it makes things a lot easier. And I mean, I don't think my tire wear was too bad. I think the worst I saw in the right rear was 71. So, um, yeah, it was definitely difficult to manage the tires. To be able to, yeah, it was just sucks how it kind of got spread out there at the end. But I mean, I, I knew if I pitted early, I would. It felt like after like 20, 25 laps, there was kind of a cliff. So I knew if I pitted with 20 to go, be able to be in that pack, get around Lilac and Craig, and go get the win. And I was I was able to just get there. Thought we had 1-2, but things happen. So yeah, just a general fun, pretty fun. I'm glad I did it, and we have a shot at Indianapolis.
Yeah, we just got the points updated. I have asked if drops are being counted. I don't know if they are or not. I think they are. They races counted. I don't see the race counted column, but again, that doesn't mean anything. It's how they got the format outputted here. Mark leads the championship by 19 over you, 47 over Wags, 57 over Christopher. Those are the top four, still mathematically in contention going into Indianapolis here in a couple of weeks on Flag Day, June 14th. Then it's Haisong Peterson, Gary Miguel, Gary Lever, and Hugo Gallis. And then your father, Clay, is in the 10th position. That is your top 10 in the championship. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, third win of the season? We told you that it was just a matter of time, and now they're starting to get packed on one top of one another. You got to be feeling good and a lot of momentum going into that final race in Indianapolis. A win there would be awesome, I'm sure. And to pass Murph in the championship, to catch him in the last couple of races from third to first in the championship would be big as well. But a lot of work to do. But I'm sure you got some shout outs for some folks for today.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my go-kart sponsors, BDM and Associates, Make Something on YouTube, Bayside Comfort Heating and Cooling, and yeah, just shout out everybody for coming out. Shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Shout out to my dad for racing and building my rig, and then shout out to just everybody for coming out for Homestead. And I think it will be if Indianapolis is anything like last time, it should be pretty good. So yeah, it's been fun to race in this season, and we'll see. I should be racing in both Tuesday night races, also on P1. So if you're watching, tune into those as well.
All right, congratulations on the win. Third win this season. Now second in the points, only 19 behind Mark Murphy going to the final race in Indianapolis here in a couple of weeks. That's Indy Kirchbauer, your winner tonight. Final thoughts from you, Andrew. We are the championship's going to live to see another day. Not the greatest day for Murph. Murph probably wants to forget about this one. Still a top 10 finish. Still looking to go back to back on the championships. But he comes home in ninth, and that allows good finishes for Stouffer and Kirchbauer to kind of get Stouffer back really in contention and get to Kirchbauer mathematically in contention, and then Kirchbauer a little bit closer. Wags is still in contention, but just barely as well. He needs a bit of a miracle just as much as Stouffer does in that final race in Indianapolis. But we've seen with Indianapolis, anything can happen. Your final thoughts on today? It was an entertaining race, but these drivers really had their hands full from almost to get halfway through the first stint. Their eyes were kind of opened up about how this thing was going to play out for the next 125 laps.
Yeah, it definitely became a lot more interesting a race than we usually see for Homestead, especially with the tire wear there. It was very difficult to figure out. I mean, Indy obviously had the field pretty much covered for the most part, but if it weren't for him out front, that battle for the last podium spot definitely got very, very interesting towards the end. So a lot of comers and goers, a lot of people trying to undercut and hang on to it, and a lot of people that tried to stay out as long as they could to either get a caution or just have the best tires possible. That last lap by Guillermo Miguel was definitely one that I'm sure he was not expecting.
And in the spirit of our man, Luis Gonzalez Nunez, who unfortunately did not have the greatest race today, finished 17th, although opened the top 10 for much of the race. Driver of the Race Award goes to Lilac Zier, up 9 spots for Lilac, who came home in 5th. That is your biggest gainer outside of the top 3. And shout out to her for being the driver of the race. Let's get on out of here. Let's start this week off right. Championship week in iRacing this week. So Monday night, our doubleheader again for championships for season 2 of 2026, and Tuesday night will also be for championships of season 2 of 2026, and also a very big triple crown attempt for Robert Malechka at Auto Club also on Tuesday night. So a big week of racing to go here on P1. Once again, your podium for tonight is Andy Kirchbauer, his 3rd win of the season. Chris Stouffer, another podium finish. He comes home in 2nd. Then Guillermo Miguel, to back up his win earlier in the season at Gateway, comes home in 3rd. Join Andrew and myself again Flag Day, June 14th, for Championship Sunday, with the Dark Horse Racing Series DW12s, presented by 4D Racewear, heads to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the 9th running of the Dark Horse Indianapolis 300. Start time is 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Will our defending series champion Mark Murphy repeat to claim his 2nd championship to join Nick DeGroot and Craig Forsyth in series history? Or will Matt Wagner, so close so many times, finally get the monkey off his back and claim a long sought-after championship? Or we'll go to the brash newcomer, the prodigy, Andy Kirchbauer. Let's not forget Chris Stouffer. All he needs is a miracle. Well, we'll see. Does miracles? Do you believe in miracles? We saw a miracle kind of on ice again earlier this year with the hockey team, and back in 1980. It's possible, but it's a long shot at best. So we'll see Chris Stouffer maybe with a miracle next Sunday. So start time will be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So one way or another, we're going to find out in 2 weeks. Remember, for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm of the game, and it's not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of tonight's race and to enjoy tonight's coverage. Support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so missing out more of P1's other iRacing programming, including Championship Tuesday for the Tuesday night open wheel doubleheaders that we host. Started at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time with the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series top split at Auto Club Speedway for a triple crown attempt, as we mentioned, by Robert Malechka, followed by the final round of the iRacing IndyCar Next Oval Series when they go to Gateway at 9:30. So if you like open wheel oval racing, and we know you do, if you're watching this tonight, then don't miss all the action Tuesday night here for Championship Tuesday right here on P1. Tonight's 6th running of the Dark Horse Miami 225 and the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by 4D Racewear. Check out 4D's made of line of sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Now, I also offer custom race awards, plaques, and championship rings for your leagues. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the stream description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with the Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook. You can follow on X and Instagram. All the links you need are in the description. For business inquiries, to learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. You can follow all of our social links on Linktree. And, of course, all of those links are in the description. So for Andrew Wood, everyone here at Dark Horse and 4D Racewear, I'm Gary Gotzo saying to all, thanks for watching. And also from P1, to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here for Championship Sunday, Flag Day, June 14th at Indianapolis for the next race of the Dark Horse Racing Series. The DW12s here, presented by 4D Racewear, right here on P1. Good night, everybody, and have a good week.